It is time for my favorite segment this week in Shohei Ohtani news. He's pitching great. He's making more history. He's running faster than anybody. And I'm going to learn another Japanese word of the day. So let's get to it with my favorite segment and talk about what he did on the mound on Friday night by striking out his 200th batter of the season. 200 strikeouts. That is a big feat for anybody, for any pitcher, for any ace. 200 strikeouts is not easy. And for the first time in Shohei's career, he has struck out 200 batters. Well, the very next batter, he struck out 201, but he has made it to 200. The 11th pitcher in Angels franchise history to reach 200 strikeouts. First since Jared Weaver in 2010. This is a big deal. 200 strikeouts is a big deal. That's a big number. What he has done this year is remarkable, and in less innings than a lot of aces out there, your typical ace of other teams, in less innings than most of those because he's pitching usually every sixth day instead of every fifth day. He has done something that only 7 other pitchers have done this season, which has reached that 200 strikeout mark. Now, as we all know, he's also hitting at the same time. So nobody in history, in the history of baseball, has ever struck out 200 batters and had double-digit home runs. The previous high was 200 strikeouts and 7 home runs was the record. Shohei Ohtani, when he struck out his 200th batter, joined elite territory, which only he is in, because he also has 34 home runs. Wow. 34 home runs, 200 strikeouts. What a season. Most home runs by a player with 200 strikeouts in a season during the modern era. Shohei Ohtani, 34 in 2022. Don Drysdale, 7. Earl Wilson, 7. Carlos Zambrano, 6. And Fergie Jenkins, 6 in 1971. Pretty big milestone. Really cool when you think about it. So on the pitching side this year, he has been unbelievable. The evolution of his pitching this year compared to what it was last year, when he was a really good pitcher last year. This year, he's one of the greats in the game. He is one of the best pitchers in the game of baseball this season. So what he's done from last year to this can't be understated. You know, last year he pitched in 23 games, had 9 wins on the mound, a 3.18 ERA, which is fantastic, a 3.52 FIP, a 141 ERA plus, and a 10.8 K per 9. Those numbers are remarkable. Now, 141 ERA plus means he is 41% better than the average. This year, 2022, 26 games pitched, 14 wins on the mound, a 2.47 ERA, a 2.51 FIP, a 163 ERA plus, meaning he is 63% better than the league average, and a 11.9 K per 9, meaning his strikeout rate is the best in all of baseball. Sarah Langs, who always comes with great stats. Shohei Ohtani has now faced 600 batters this year, making him the first player since 1900 with 600 batters faced and 600 plate appearances in a season. That is wild. This discussion that we can have of the MVP award this year, just stop. We need to appreciate greatness while it's happening. And it's happening in New York with Aaron Judge. And boy, is it happening in Anaheim with Shohei Ohtani. This is historic. This has never been done before. But what he's done on the mound this year is elite and is in elite territory. His numbers this year, okay? Currently the 14 wins, 2.47 ERA, and an 11.94 K per nine. Only other pitchers in history to have those numbers or better in a season, Pedro Martinez and Randy Johnson. 1 year for each of them. Pedro Martinez in 99, Randy Johnson in 1997. Those two guys are considered one of the greatest pitchers of all time in the history of baseball. Those two are two of the best. And as of right now, with the numbers Shohei has this year, he has put himself in a category with only those two guys. So on the mound this year, what he has done from last year is remarkable. And I think there's a few reasons for that. And I won't even talk about his new turbo sinker that's 100 miles an hour moving all over the place, because he didn't even really start figuring out how to throw that until a couple of weeks ago. He's been dominant all year long. A big reason for that, I think, this year has been his ability in a start where he doesn't have his best stuff to push through it and to end up having a good, not great start. Before, we would see him not have that good stuff and he could get hit around a little bit. Now we've seen games multiple this year where he comes out, can't find the strike zone early, looks like he doesn't have his stuff, ends up getting out of that inning, ends up figuring it out a little in innings 2 and 3. And next thing you know, he's through 6 innings, giving up 2 runs. And those have been his bad starts this year. Take out Yankee Stadium where they have his signs and he tipped his pitches and they knew it was coming. Those have been his bad starts. That has been the difference this year. And I noticed it when I watched a game earlier in the year. He didn't have his good stuff. I could see it. I knew it. He knew it. He ended up getting out of an inning. And as the game went on, it started coming to him. He got more comfortable. He pushed through that first inning. And then next thing you know, his break on his breaking pitches is back. His velocity was fine. But then he's getting out of innings. And then his location's coming back. His accuracy, it's all coming back throughout the game. Next thing you know, 6th inning, he's throwing 100 miles an hour with that nasty slider that he didn't quite have a feel for early in the game. That, to me, has been the biggest difference and led to his dominance this year. And his last 16 starts on the mound, 131 strikeouts, only 19 total earned runs in that time. This season, again, is 1 of 1. This season for Shohei Ohtani is 1 of 1. Last year, another 1 of 1 season, but he did it in a different way. The offensive numbers were there. The power was unbelievable, all while pitching well. This year, the pitching is elite. It's historically good, all while hitting good, with 34 home runs. This year is special. And we all talk about, for Shohei, the offense and the pitching and that he's doing it at the same time. I can't talk about that enough because I don't think people truly understand. But one thing that really isn't talked about enough is his speed. And over the last week, he had a hard 90 down to first base. That's what hard 90 feet from home to first. Hard 90 is just a time where you're giving it your all down the base. He had a hard 90, and it was the 35th of the year, his 35th full hard go at it. And that qualified him for another unique stat. This stat is remarkable. 439 MLB players have made at least 35 competitive runs to first base so far this season. None have had a quicker average time than Shohei Ohtani. 4.07 seconds. He's also, I won't say the fastest, like that stat can tell you. That was the fastest. He is also one of, if not the fastest player in Major League Baseball, all while pitching elite level and hitting home runs out of the yard. It is unbelievable. The fastest sprint speed to first base amongst all major leaguers to have 35 competitive runs to first base. And I feel like we don't talk about his speed enough. We talk about his pitching. And this year, I feel like people are thinking, oh, he's taken a step back offensively. Why? Because the power numbers aren't there? No. Shohei has matched his career best with an 11-game hit streak, including his hit on Sunday. During the streak, he's batting .361. And during that streak, he's got a 1.5 ERA. It's laughable how good he is. It is comical what he is doing. And he's not getting the love and he's not getting the notoriety this year because fairly, the notoriety has gone in some other locations this year. Albert Pujols hitting 700 home runs. Aaron Judge doing what he's doing. The Angels are out of it. They've been out of it for a while. So it does take away attention from what Shohei is doing. That's why I have this segment. Because not everybody can stay up until midnight and watch Shohei Ohtani on the West Coast. Not everybody can watch Angels games because they don't have MLB TV. They don't know how to watch the games. He's not in a primetime market. Well, LA is, but you know what I'm saying. He doesn't play for the Dodgers. He plays for the Angels. That's part of the reason I started this segment, was so I could tell you all every single week what Shohei Ohtani has done, because I knew at the time he's doing something every single week that has never been done before, and people need to know about it. And guess what? That happened again this week, as it always does. Also, what happened? Albert Pujols hitting his 700th home run, and you best believe Shohei Ohtani, being the person that he is, has come out with a quote congratulating Albert Pujols, with the quote saying how proud he is to be his teammate. He said, "I'm really glad he got to 700. I played with him for a couple of years, and it was an honor to be a teammate of his. He's raking this year, so I feel like he has a lot left in the tank." Just a class act. Both of them. How do you not love both of them? Also, how do you not love Masa? Because Masa comes on here every week now and gives me my Japanese word of the day. So let's bring back out my friend Masa for today's Japanese word of the day. Masa, how are you doing, my friend? Wow, your hair looks great today.
Just I got a haircut.
Yeah, I knew it. Great.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm doing great. So hit me with today's word of the day.
Okay, maybe easier one. Okay. Dendo.
Dendo. Okay, Dendo. And that means what?
Hall of Fame.
All right.
Hall of Fame,
Dendo,
yeah.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's
I
correct.
think Shohei is going to be in the Dendo one day for how good he is at Yaku. Would you say the Dendo? Well, it's in English. Don't mind me. I'm still learning here. I don't know a full, complete sentence yet, but I know that Shohei plays Yaku and he's going to be in the Dendo, which is the Hall of Fame. So how's that sound?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Actually, a lot of his staff in the already the Hall of Fame in the U.S.
Yeah.
Well, actually, yeah, I mean, we went to the Japanese Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
too,
when I went to Japan and got to go to, when we went to Japan, we got to go to the Japanese Baseball Hall of Fame, and his stuff is everywhere there already. And obviously he's not in the Hall of Fame officially yet because he's still playing, but he is everywhere in there, as I'm sure he is in Cooperstown as well. He has stuff everywhere. So I like this word. Thank you, my friend. This was a good one. You're in my Hall of Fame.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Masa. I appreciate it. And as usual, the word of the day wraps up this Week in Shohei Ohtani News. Thanks for watching. If you love flipping bats, swinging 3-0, or just talking ball, join us. Call us at 213-537-9339 with your questions. We have a weekly guest, and we have a lot of fun, so hit that subscribe button.